Three, two, one. Welcome back to you and to Karl. So you want to tell people how you fucked up your wrist?
I just have tendonitis.
That's all that is?
I mean, that was the doctor's speculation, but I haven't gotten the radiology report back yet.
How'd you fuck it up, though?
Originally, it was at Idols.
Throwing bows?
Yeah. Originally, it was at Idols in May, and then I re-aggravated it going bowling, and then I just was doing cleans at the gym. It's when you like kind of start in like a deadlift position, you lift the bar all the way up onto your shoulders, and you put it back down. And
I thought you had to go over your head.
that's a clean and press. And I'm not going to be doing that, you know. You got to get the clean form right, and then you do everything else from there. Anyway, I did a clean, and it felt like a crunch happened. Like it was like a and I was like, "Uh-oh." But
You probably like tore something,
yeah, it could be.
like a ligament.
He said a strain or tendonitis, which is when like I think tendonitis is when it's not torn, it's just like extremely stretched. Like you overextended a tendon and it like gets like
Really? I thought
like you ever take a
tendonitis-
spring and you pull the spring and then it's just like a loose limp dick piece of metal.
I thought tendonitis was like there's like a hole that the tendon goes through, and then that hole gets just too small and it's like rubbing up against it, so there's resistance or something. You know? Like there's a passageway and that passageway gets like inflamed or something like that. And then so the ligament, when it like pulls, it's getting fucked up. What are you Googling it?
Yeah.
Googling how to be a doctor?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it just says inflammation or irritation that makes it swell. So I think I just described a sprain.
No, strain.
I don't
tweak?
know. One is a tear, one is a stretch. That's all I know. Okay.
Oh.
Why did
we
they,
can't do that bit again?
why couldn't they just call it a tear and a stretch? Why did they have to call it a strain and a sprain? Why did they have to get all Dr. Seuss on us, dude?
I don't know. Remember when you fucked up your ankle at Denzel Curry?
That was crazy.
Carl apparently has this tendency to go to concerts and fucking hurt himself.
Go hard, bro. Actually, Denzel Curry was literally just me being drunk and jumping up and down and then landing on the side of my foot.
I was gonna say you just like fucked up. You didn't go hard. You were just like, wait, oh shit,
and
then you were broken.
fucking Idols was like this fucking like 300-pound dude just was like throwing his back at me, and he just fucking got
Throwing
me.
his back on Carl.
Yeah. Oh, good morning.
Yeah. The funniest part about you fucking your ankle up at Denzel was we were at a music festival. We were at Boston Calling, and Denzel was pretty early in the day, and then you fucked up your ankle, and then we continued to walk around and be drunk and silly all day, and then the next day it was like Carl's ankle was all swollen.
I have a picture of it still. We can easily put it up on the podcast. Here it is.
Ugh.
I'll do it. It's okay. I'll do it.
All right, there it is. And
it's purple. It's
here's
all
Carl's
purple.
social security number, and here's his bank account information.
My driver's license number. My whole ID.
All right, so I told Carl I was going to wait to tell him on the podcast. This is just something I wanted to tell Carl. So the other night, this was Saturday night, so very recently, hanging out, doing whatever. Everybody's like, we're like, whatever. Everyone goes to bed. I went to bed. I couldn't sleep, really. I was just like, whatever. It was like 11:30. I was like, you know what? I'm not that tired yet. I go into the studio. I'm in there till about 12:30, something like that. I come out, and as I come out, I hear shattering glass outside our house. So I'm like, fuck. Somebody's breaking into not our house, but our neighbor's house. Great. we're next, one of those. So I'm like, I kind of heard it on the side of the house. So I flip on the outside lights and I'm like looking out there. And then I'm looking in our backyard. Now, for reference, our backyard is a lot of trees. The whole thing is surrounded by trees. There's a wooden fence. There is a cement wall in the back that separates our backyard from this alleyway behind an apartment building, right? Like where the apartment building keeps like their trash cans or whatever. But on the cement wall, there's this big straw like fence supposed to make it look good.
Like cabana tiki bar fucking roll up straw that you can get to like cover up a chain link fence if you're broke.
So through the straw, I see flickering lights, and I'm like, is that like because sometimes work trucks go back there? Thought it was that at first, but it was not uniform enough. It wasn't like blink blink. It was like, right? And I'm like, cool. There's a fire back there. Great. Very small light. In my head, I heard the shattering glass. I thought just like a homeless person
getting warm
was just like making a trash can fire and then smashing a couple bottles in there.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, like I don't really like there's a lot of dry leaves and shit. I was like, it's cool. So I'm like debating whether or not to like call somebody and be like, hey, this fire shouldn't be here. And so I turn around and I go into our room and I wake up Justine. I was like, I might need to call the cops about this fire. I turn back and look out the window and the fire is now fucking massive. So, and I was like, yes, I do need to call somebody about this fucking fire. So, like, it went from this small little flame to the entire back wall. I mean, I'm seeing it through the trees, but the whole tree, I was like, oh my God, that's massive. So I wake up everybody and I'm like, there's a fire back there. I'm calling the fire department. We need to be ready to leave because if a single ember crosses onto our house, which is very possible, our entire backyard is nothing but dead trees and dead leaves. It would have been a fucking inferno in 90 seconds.
Pretty quick.
So I call. I'm like, there's a fire, blah, blah, blah. And then as that's happening, like they're like, yeah, we know about it. I forgot the most annoying, not annoying. Why did I use the word annoying? Totally annoying what I'm about to say. The most like fucked up thing was like you could hear everybody like yelling, like some guys back there. They didn't speak and they're like incendio, 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 and then like people were like screaming for help. People were stuck in the apartment building.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
couple
people went to the hospital.
Fucking
see
hell.
What I mean by annoying?
Yeah. Jesus Christ. Keep it down. I'm trying to sleep.
Fuck you, dude.
Bad neighbors, dude.
Come on.
Bad neighbors.
Yeah. So I called and they're like, yeah, we know about it. Thanks. Click. Yeah. So I had to like. So we grabbed a bunch of stuff. I like grabbed a suitcase out of the thing. I like threw like a couple pairs of underwear and shit in there. Like I was like, okay, we have like a few minutes here. Let's get the bare essentials just in case. And I like moved the cars out of the driveway.
PlayStation 5.
I didn't take the PlayStation. I took your computer in the studio.
Really?
First thing I did was I shut it down and then went and got other shit and then unplugged it.
Mm-hmm.
I got a lot of music on that computer. Free downloads, dude. I got a bunch of pirated songs on there. I got a bunch of pirated movies on Karl's computer, so I couldn't lose that. So I had to take that. What else did I take? I took my firebox.
Fair. But you could technically just leave the firebox.
I did think that when I grabbed it. I was like, technically this would be fine, I think. But I didn't want to do it. It's
a big risk to take.
It's got like my social security card and stuff in it. So I grabbed that, a suitcase with like a bunch of underwear, and I just like threw a bunch of shit in there, a couple like shirts and pants. What else did I buy? What else did I grab? Obviously the dog. Justine grabbed the dog. Grabbed Cup. She grabbed Cup.
Oh yeah.
The lizard.
Fuck yeah. That fucking building is burnt all the way up the top of it. It's crazy.
Dude, once the fire department got there, I still wasn't 100 I still wasn't calm cuz they were in the back alley.
Mm-hmm.
That fire was gone. I couldn't see it, but the roof, I went out front and I could see a glow and smoke coming up. I think the fire was in the basement mainly, but they were getting chainsaws.
Do you know what happened?
No. I believe when I looked back there, it looked like it started in the basement or a garage. But the weird thing was, I heard an explosion earlier in the night. When I was in the studio, I heard a loud boom, which isn't that strange for where we live. It's just
People are setting off fireworks a lot.
fireworks and stuff like that. But it was bigger than most fireworks. But I heard that same explosion multiple times throughout the night. I don't know. I think they test. I think people test grenades in Van Nuys or something like that because we hear a lot of big explosions all the time.
I mean, yeah. When you
I
heard
don't
that
know.
glass shatter, it was obvious that when the window broke, it got flooded with oxygen and
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It was probably boiling, that explosion, whatever it was, whether it was a car or fucking something. It's just probably in that basement, just cooking, heating up, but used up all the oxygen in the basement.
Yeah,
And then when that window finally popped, it was go time.
maybe.
Fucking-
Yeah, it was so crazy to see how quickly it went from I think there's a fire back there to holy shit,
Well,
we gotta go.
No, have you ever seen? There's videos and examples fire departments will post, or usually around Thanksgiving to show Christmas trees or turkeys. If you try to fry a turkey and that catches on fire, but I've seen videos of they'll have a mock house and they'll set fire to the Christmas tree and then they'll be here's what happens if you open a door and the whole living room explodes. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Jesus. Fire is no fucking joke. Shout out to the fire department, Van Nuys Fire Department.
They got out here.
Yeah, it took 40 firemen and 30 minutes to put out the fire, said the article.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, no, I somebody at work apparently lives in the townhouses across the way. Because I came in and I was exhausted. Because I was up, I was so amped. Because I was sprinting around the house getting shit.
Right.
And thinking we were
What
going to
time
have
did you actually go to bed? 3 a.m.?
Yes. So
Yeah.
then I had to be at work the next morning. And I walk in, and my friend Gavin at work, I was just dude, I was up so late last night. And he's oh, wow. I was there was this fucking fire behind my house. And I explained the whole thing. He's wait, where do you live? And I was and he's yeah, I live in the townhouses right over there, right across from the 7-Eleven.
Oh, yeah.
And he's I was on my roof watching it too. So I was
That's
oh,
crazy.
yeah, I was on the opposite side.
Damn.
Yeah, fire is no fucking joke. Remember that time I almost set my house on fire?
Yeah. That was crazy. Gasoline. Thank God there was snow on the ground.
I saw a video last night online, on the internet, on the web.
Oh, you were surfing the web
I was surfing the web,
and you came across.
and I came across this MP4, and I was let me enter this site here. And so I watched this video, and it's just a kid doing exactly what I did. There's a fire, little gasoline, right? Because you do it once and it goes, and you're whoa, cool. And then you do it a second time, and then it travels up the trail of gasoline, and then your gas can catches on fire, and then you're oh shit, and then you kind of
You wave it around.
wave it
and then
around
you
'cause you
throw
wanna-
fire onto a bunch of
and
stuff around
you wave it around because you want the fire to go out, and then you realize that all the fucking gas is flying everywhere, and then you look around, and you're oh my god, everything's on fire, and then yeah, so that kid did that, and then he threw it, and then he kicked it, and then it went, and everything caught on fire.
Yeah.
Now he was in a dry area, so everything was in flames. When I did it,
There was 8 inches of snow on the ground.
It was-
Thank
yeah.
God.
I set all the snow on fire. My concern wasn't that fire spreading, My concern was that the gas can was still on fire, and I thought if the gas caught, it would explode.
It would have.
Well, we don't know.
No, remember I was the one that used to be like, no, there wasn't that much gasoline. It wouldn't be that bad of an explosion. And then you looked up a video of like what it looks like if you set like a cup of gasoline on fire, and it's like a hand grenade, dude.
Fucked up.
It's crazy.
Fucked up. But so I had to like, I took the gas can and I had one of those spouts, and like I said, it was snow on the ground, so I just like dumped it like that, like really fast, and it extinguished the fire. But could you imagine if I had done that and then the gas like went there and then exploded? I would have been dead.
Yeah.
I would have been dead.
At least not have eyebrows.
I'd have less than eyebrows.
Body hair. General body hair.
Skin.
Yeah.
I'd have less skin.
Probably.
What's the closest you think you've ever come to death?
I slipped and fell in Vermont when I was a kid at like this like waterfall and almost fell like 80 feet. That would have been bad.
I almost fell off the Grand Canyon when I was younger. But yeah.
Scary. And then honestly, I think we've probably told this story on the podcast. Maybe not, but like that time where we were just like sitting, stopped, and the light turned green, and then we didn't go, and then that fucking semi truck fucking blew the red light, and we were like,
isn't that just so crazy?
Weird.
It was. I think a lot of people have stories like that.
Yeah.
I forget who was it you or me driving?
You were driving.
Yeah.
But that's the thing though, is that like I was sitting in the passenger seat and I saw the light turn green and I didn't be like, yo, light's green. Like we were just sitting there fucking chatting and there was no one behind us or whatever.
And I'm usually quick like, all right, let's get going. And I was just like, oh, the light's green. And then
yeah, it was crazy.
Giant semi truck.
And I also remember being like, did that just happen? Like, for real? Like, is that? Like, it was fucking bizarre. Like, I just remember, because it also didn't, like, strike me as, like, surprising. I was like, I think we were just like, we would have just been, like, dead. Like, yeah. Huh.
I'm trying to think of the closest I've ever come to taking the long nap. I can't think of like anything specifically. You almost cracked your skull on the back pavement or on the back porch here. Karl like ran.
We can't say that would have been death.
Bro.
It could have just been really bad. But who knows about people hit their heads a lot and survive.
Yeah, but not on the edge of brick into a pool. Karl was running into their pool on New Year's Eve. Woohoo, it's midnight. And then everybody was running and then jumping. And then Karl was last, so it was like wet. And then Karl ran and slipped. And he like slipped
Isn't
back.
there a video of it? It's pretty. I think we have a video of it somewhere. I feel like I remember watching it. No, I don't give a fuck about showing them, but I feel like I've seen it.
And so Karl like runs and then he slips and his feet go out. It's like he was gonna do a gainer, but like in the half inch that he had from the top of the pool to the water, and he slipped and then his head was like that, like an inch and a half from
it was pretty bad.
Ripping in the concrete, the fucking brick. That was pretty. That was, you could have died there. For sure you could have died.
Or at least been paralyzed and in a coma, you know?
What were we just talking about?
Closest to death?
About no, not right now. We were talking about like people hitting their heads. Why were we talking about that?
Head trauma is no joke.
Never mind.
Yeah, I mean, my sister's pretty certain that she was concussed pretty badly the night that we had that party here, and she fell back and hit her head on the coffee table. Remember that?
That was pretty funny. That was pretty fucking funny. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, if she like died or something, that would have not been funny, obviously,
Yeah.
or even got seriously injured. But she was fine. So,
well, she thinks that she was pretty badly concussed from that, but I guess we'll never know.
she's still talking.
She does still talk.
She doesn't have a lisp.
Yeah. And she hasn't murder-suicided her loved ones yet, so I guess she doesn't have CTE.
What about
she hasn't Aaron Hernandez to anybody.
What about those people who hit their heads and start like speaking in an accent or like a foreign language? She's not doing any of that.
That's crazy.
So, if all checks out, if your friends get hurt, check on them first, and if they're fine, then it's funny.
True.
And if they're hurt not seriously, sometimes it can be really funny.
Well, then it just takes like a day or two, and then it's really funny. If they're hurt but they'll survive, then you just got to give it a day.
And I
or
don't want you
two.
taking any fucking moral high ground on this, because I know when I broke my foot, you laughed at me so much.
Well, I was concerned. I laughed once you stepped on it at Colin's house. That was crazy.
What do you mean you laughed? That was making it worse. It wasn't in a cast.
I was concerned when you first told me, and I was like, "Damn, that looks like it hurts." And then when you got to the very top of the stairs,
what happened was I was like, dude, I fucked it up. So it was just so bad. I was like jogging up a set of steps, twisted my ankle, broke my foot instantly. Like instantly fucked up my foot. And I was like, oh my God. I get in my car. I hop to my car. It was my right foot. I hop to my car, and then I step on the brake to like put it into drive, and I was like, oh! So I was like, okay, that's fucked up. So I drove.
What car were you driving?
The minivan.
Thank God you didn't have the S10 anymore.
Yeah.
That would have been so bad.
I don't know what I would have done. So I drove my left foot. I didn't go to the hospital right away. Instead, I went to hang out with my friends. And
You got crutches, though. So from
no,
somewhere.
not that day. Eventually, I did. But first night, I just like went to Colin's house, and me and Colin just like hung out in the basement or whatever.
Well, yeah. So anyway, we were down in Colin's basement, and David, it's time to leave the basement for whatever reason, on a dinner, and we go up the steps, and David's like using the railing and hopping up on his left foot, and he gets to the very top and loses his balance and like just instinctually puts his other foot down and puts all his weight on his foot, and like, I don't know if you cried, but you yelled out and just like died on the floor for like 5 minutes.
God.
It was crazy.
And then I went to the hospital, and they told me I was fine. And then I like was like, okay, I guess I'm fine. And then like 3 weeks later, they're just like, yeah, kind of stay off of it. So I like kind of stayed on crutches or whatever. And then like 6 weeks later, I think I went back because I was like, this is still fucked up. They're like, oh yeah, it's been broken the whole time. We should have done that. And now I can't fit in ski boots because my fucking bone is fucked up now. You know
Any
that?
ski boots?
I can't fit in ski. I can, but it's like hurts. It's like
They rub.
not only no, they don't rub. Like it's
Grips you weird. It hurts.
I don't know how to describe it. It's like having an extra. It's like having a knuckle on my fucking side of my foot.
You ever see people with like bad bunions?
Yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah, that's fucked up.
Speaking of bunions, have you watched Penguin at all?
Yeah,
That
is it a
dude's-
bunion? That's what that is. That's not a bunion.
No.
That's not a bunion.
No, you're right.
If you
It's
see
a little
Penguin,
bit
there's
more-
there's a scene where you see his foot. It's not a bunion.
It's a little bit more mangled than just a bunion. That's true. I only watched the first episode, but it's way better than I was expecting it to be.
It's really good. It's really good. It's like if Tony Soprano was in the DC universe.
True. They do. Well, I remember that was my biggest thought, is that like they did a really good job like making it feel more like a real crime show.
Yeah.
Than
But I also was afraid that
fanatical.
the Penguin was just going to be like, okay, this is just Tony Soprano.
Yeah.
But I was feeling that in the first half of the episode because I literally, the last thing I watched was the last episode of Sopranos. Like, I've been watching The Sopranos. It's not.
And he has the same haircut and body type too, which is a lot. But
yes, but Colin Farrell's. I was thinking this. I was like, okay. I was like, I see a little Tony Soprano in here, and I was thinking to myself, I was like, you can't do a mobster without having some sort of Tony Soprano influence.
well, yeah, because that's just how mobsters all
just
act.
mobsters.
Yeah, this is what they do.
So,
especially like modern ones, because it's not like the '60s where it's like everybody's like Robert De Niro. Okay, well, I wasn't thinking transatlantic fucking 1920s, but sure.
No, but like, yeah, it's a good show. You ever seen Public Enemy?
I haven't. That's Johnny
That's
Depp.
one of those, right? What, Johnny Depp?
Yeah.
No. I'm thinking like the old movie.
Oh, Johnny Depp remade Public Enemy.
Public Enemy movie. What year did this come out? Original. 1931. That's,
Oh.
yeah, that's
no,
one of those. Yeah, see?
I was thinking of Johnny Depp remade
It might
that
even
movie.
it might even be silent. I don't know. Is it silent?
I don't know.
Let me look it
Not
up.
Johnny Depp's.
Well, no shit, not Johnny Depp's.
I never saw either.
It's not a silent film. Dialogue in this movie, the music, there's okay.
I also never saw Black Mass, which is I'm pretty sure also Johnny Depp playing Whitey Bulger in Boston.
Black Mass.
You need to watch LA Confidential, dude.
Okay.
It's fucking so good. You will love it. It's so good that it made me like The Departed a little bit less because it's like kind of in the same vein, like crazy.
I think I saw like the end of it. I think
It doesn't matter. Like you saw.
I don't even remember what it was though.
Yes, you maybe saw the end of it, but the end of it was just kind of like an action sequence. You know what I mean? But like the whole movie leading up to it is.
Oh, but I
fucking
remember
great.
it now. I remember who the bad guy is. It's a secret bad guy.
Just watch it. You'll like it. It's still
Alright.
awesome.
All right, tell the people about Father John Misty before we head out of here.
That was one of the best shows ever. Yeah, it was fucking great. He is such a good performer. His band is sick.
How
like
old
a
is he?
6-7 piece, 40 something, like 42.
I mean, as I'm reaching 30 years old, because I'm 27 now, I'm trying to clock when people got famous.
Yeah.
Trying to do the math, make sure.
Well, he
Do
was the
mental
drummer
gymnastics.
for Fleet Foxes before he did his solo
Oh.
career. Mm-hmm. And then he broke off and started Father John Misty. And,
Interesting. Anyway,
he's just so fucking good. He's such a good performer. It felt like he also very much embodies like an old school kind of style where it's like you kind of feel like you're watching like a Frank Sinatra type character on stage. Like,
what do you mean?
like him and his band are all wearing like the same like black suit, white shirt, like unbuttoned a little bit. And like he has kind of like this sort of same kind of swagger and persona, and the way he sings is kind of talky, and also like he has a large, deeper voice, kind of similar to Frank Sinatra. It's like that kind of vibe. And then he's also kind of like quirky and funny too.
Okay.
Tells like these sort of suave jokes in between songs. It felt sick. It was cool. The opener though.
If you want to talk about it, we should probably give me a second.
The opener was this guy, solo, him and guitar. His name was Omar Velasquez, and was hands down the most captivating opener I've ever seen. Like, was such a good fucking songwriter. I have not listened to his music. Like, I still haven't put him on yet. Like, so I don't know if I will feel as captivated just listening to his recorded music as I was when he was performing. But that dude,
Omar Velasco?
let me see. Yes, sorry, Omar Velasquez.
Damn, he's only got 22,000 monthly listeners. Everyone,
He was
Pump it up.
so fucking good. He wrote the most interesting love songs I've heard in a long time.
he's got a song called Shakedown Street. You guys know what that means.
And he
Grateful Dead.
he was just like so fucking good. Kind of like folky Bob Dylan vibe, but also just, I don't know. He just knew how to fucking write a song, man. It was fucking amazing. And then his last song, he brought out some guys from Father John Misty's band, including Father John Misty on drums, which was kind of cool to see. And yeah,
What's Father John Misty's real name?
Josh Tillman.
Calling him father seems weird.
It is a little bit weird, but it's like it's satirical. His name.
Oh yeah, because he's always talking about like God and stuff.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this Omar Velasco guy. Let's take a listen, shall we?
You seem to me to be so tired.
So funny because you used to you never liked like singer-songwriter style.
Both of us get really hot about, not hot, but like get really like,
Turned on?
yeah. Both of us kind of get like annoyed by like just like solo guitar and singer.
When they suck.
Yeah. This guy was so fucking good. And at first I was like, am I going to like this guy? Because he kind of was doing like, you just heard it a little bit, like kind of nasally Bob Dylan-esque vocal, but he was really, really good.
You got to be really fucking good to just be a guitar and a vocalist.
Yeah.
You got to be fucking spectacular.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
So
gosh.
that in a way was the most memorable thing because honestly, I don't usually like love a lot of openers that I go to see. And then sometimes they just feel like caricatures of the band that's to come, you know?
Really?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the time I felt that way, like the Idols concert. And I actually do like the band that opened for them, but just not as much as Idols. They were called Proto Martyr. And they've been around for a long, long time. And Idols says that they're one of their biggest influences, which is interesting because they've just exceeded them so much at this point.
That's funny.
Yeah, like just standing there listening to them, Jake and I both were like, this is just Idols. What's going on?
Yeah. Speaking of
I'm like, I don't know. I mean, you could also argue like Hermanos Gutierrez opening for Krungbin. Like they're not exactly the same, but it's like
those guys aren't that'd be like Glass Beams opening for Krungbin.
yeah, that would be weird.
Glass Beams. Fuck Glass Beams. What a bunch of fucking posers, dude. The second you guys, okay, so Glass, first off, you guys know about Krungbin. Everybody knows Krungbin. Everybody knows them.
Everyone loves them.
Everybody loves them because they're fucking great. And their music is
at the time was so unique to
So
anything
unique.
else that was going
It
on.
was so sick.
Mhm.
And then 3 years after Krungman really blows up, I get this fucking ad on Instagram of people doing it's a 3-piece. They're all wearing masks instead of wigs. Krungman wears wigs. These guys wear fucking masks. They're doing the same sound. It's produced the exact same instrumental music. They're just straight up fucking copying Krungman.
Do you know Arc de Soleil?
Is that a music? Is that a song?
No, it's another Krungbin copy. It's another artist. Crazy.
Maybe I'm an asshole. Maybe Krungman isn't as unique as I thought.
Well, they're not. They didn't revolutionize that sound, but they brought it back when no one else was doing it.
Yeah, but those bands could have existed while Krungman could have just popped.
That is possible.
But fuck Glass Beams. No, because Glass Beams, they do the mask thing, and that shit pisses me
Well,
off.
not fucking this guy. Arc de Soleil. He has just a million different singles that he's been putting out since 2019. So
I'll give that guy a pass, but fuck Glass Beams. All right. Any closing thoughts? Did we hit everything we want to talk about?
yeah, sure.
Are you on Instagram these days?
A little bit. My Instagram got so fucking weird. I'm getting pushed like only things with no comments and like 62 views of the most bizarre shit I've ever seen. So I'm like, I open up Instagram and it feels like I'm like on like early Reddit. I'm like, okay, this is not fun or entertaining. I don't fucking like this.
What are
at
your
all.
videos?
Dude, I don't, just like random bizarre shit of like some lady like having like an obvious manic episode teaching you how to like boil hot dogs in her kitchen or something. Like it's fucking weird. Like really bizarre, disturbing, ugly shit that I'm like, okay, what the fuck?
How did you do that? Why did you do that to yourself?
Huh?
You did it to yourself. You watched the videos.
No, it's like out of nowhere.
If you're complaining about the algorithm, that's what you watch.
No, but the algorithm changes. Well, now it's like, what am I looking at here? Some cooking stuff.
Let's see what my algorithm says. I only have YouTube on
Cool
my phone.
cars.
Whoa.
You only have YouTube on your phone?
I only have YouTube. I've been getting pushed this guy. I get pushed shit like this bear. You guys can't see it. I'm not gonna show you. It's
YouTube Shorts is like
fucked up. I hate YouTube Shorts. I don't even know why I do this. I've been getting pushed. This guy, Swifter or some shit like that, and he's been playing like a Simon Says game.
Oh
in
yeah, on Call of
COD.
Duty. Yeah, Swifter Says.
Yeah,
He's great.
it's very funny.
Yeah, it's
very
hilarious.
funny. It's like people.
Yeah,
like,
no, Swifter's great.
If people do the wrong thing, like the whole group turns and like unloads a clip in that one guy. It's so funny.
Yeah, Swifter's great. He's awesome. There's a mosquito.
All right, let's get the fuck out of here.
All right.
I'm done.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Karl's back. He's broken.
I'm always
we'll
broken.
see.
It's been a long time since I had to go and see a medical professional. You know?
Yeah, I guess you haven't really done
I
that
used to have to go all the time.
too much.
Anywho,
All right. Goodbye, everybody. We'll see you guys next week.
take care.